Idziemy się ponapierdalać. Ooh.
Kit nem látok? Megjött a mulatság. A szentségi! Látjátok?
Headshot.
Emberek, vigyázat!
Látom őt! Ott itt! Rossz helyen vagy, rossz időben. Hé! Ott van, vigyázz!
W konia? Lazy balls.
Kit nem látok? A szentségi! Vigyázz! Látom az ellenséget! Nem bírok! Na!
Kurde. Komu wpierdolić?
What did you say? What did you fucking say? You
Come
get
here,
what for?
lily liver. You're dead. Here. I'm going to enjoy this. Pieces, you rat. You get what for? Ow.
Cry now.
What's the
Look,
matter?
Tulva.
Come on.
Ow.
Bring it on. Way off. Take that.
Noż kurwa.
Well landed. Is that all you've got? No. You get. Gone weak at the knee. Oh dear, did that hurt?
My humble greetings. How may I serve you?
I have some trophies.
Show me. Good work. That's the way to deal with the scum.
I've taken care of that camp.
Have you brought me proof?
Here it is.
I'm delighted to hear it. It's not over yet. I've heard of some trouble along the Rogner Road. There's bound to be another encampment there. Most likely in an abandoned mine in the woods.
I understand. Can you teach me how to defend myself better in combat?
Certainly.
I want to achieve mastery.
You can't become a master overnight.
Well, I'd like to improve my swordsmanship.
Certainly.
I want to achieve
You can't become a master.
Well, I'll think... I'd like to get better at...
Certainly.
I want to achieve...
You can't become a master.
Well, I'll...
See you later.
I'd like to make use of the bathhouse's services.
And what is it you'd like?
I'll certainly need a physician to treat my wounds. Then a hot bath and laundering my clothes.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied.
God save them.
hear you're able to open locks without a key. Will you teach me how?
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First, you have to have some skills to hone.
Well, I'll think it over.
Hey, lad! Don't you want a little wager on the Rat-Aid tourney? God save you, good night. What can I do for you?
You've an honest trade. How come you got mixed up in crime?
Evil times. The harvest failed, and there was no grain to mill, and a child to feed on top of it all. I had no choice. And meanwhile, the lords in the castle and the monks in the monastery stuffed their craws to bursting. Where's the justice in that?
So you took justice into your own hands, is that it? And now you take whatever you need?
Pull your head out your arse, Henry. Take a good look around you. Wars come and go, but nothing really changes. It's the poor that do the dying, and the nobles who reap the rewards. We have to survive somehow, so why concern ourselves with morals?
I'm interested in betting on the tourney.
Of course you are.
What can I bet on?
Let's keep it simple. You can bet on yourself to win the whole tournament. If you reckon you're up to it. Not everyone's got what it takes. If you lose, you forfeit your wager. But if you win, you'll get double back from me, on top of the prize money from Sir Hanush. That's a fair wager, ain't it? What do you say?
All right, why the hell not? I'll try my luck.
I'm glad to hear it. A nice little wager. Well, break a leg. Literally, I hope. Good luck, then.
I hear you're able to open...
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
All right. but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention.
God be with you. Baked goods fresh from the oven. Come get them.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
Good boy. Take care.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Well, we can try it.
Here, with a little something on top for good measure.
Thanks 1,000 times.
Good luck then.
and ho!
Garlic, carrots, beetroot, onions, all that grows in the ground. Fresh. Come right up.
God save you. What can I do for you?
Goodbye. God be with you.
Can we do something about the price?
All right, so.
Here, with a little something on top for a good measure.
Well now, thank you very much.
Onions, come get 'em.
Well, I never. What? Ugh!
Right, have a look at these cucumbers. Come get 'em. All winter. Buy 'em before someone else does.
Hey, Henry's come to see us.
God save you, Henry.
What are you fussing about?
What's going on out there?
Good day, Henry.
God be with you, Henry.
God save you, Henry.
Good health to you, Henry.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
I delivered the things as you asked.
I already know. My spies told me everything. She was wearing the necklace this morning, as I asked in the letter.
So you'll go to the rendezvous with her?
Certainly not. I'm not going to pounce on her like a bull in rutting season. Her feelings must be allowed to mature gradually. Meanwhile, you'll get a potion for me.
I thought you didn't believe in witches' brews.
This is no witch's brew. It's an absolutely tried and tested elixir called Musk of Infinite Allure. There's a fellow in Sassau who sells it, and he guarantees its success.
Musk of Infinite Allure? Sounds irresistible. All right, I'll try and get it for you.
I'm sure I can rely on you. Here's some coin for your costs.
God be with you. I'll have a beer.
house and have a smell. Fresh bread. And pour yourself a bit of fresh water.
Welcome, Henry.
Czemu w lodeczku? Aha.
Well, well, who have we here?
Ah, the prodigal son returns. I knew you'd come back to me one day.
Let me guess. You saw it in a dream?
I knew you were going to say that.
But I had a divine revelation. That next time I won't be around to pull you out of the shit.
Oh, well, I am sorry. But these things are sent to try our fortitude in the face of adversity.
I'd like to try your fortitude.
God save Henry.
I've heard you know of some irresistibility potion or whatever it is.
Ah, naturally! Musk of infinite allure! An age-old recipe, maybe even older, tested by Moses himself.
Moses?
How do you think he managed to get his people to follow him through the desert for 40 years? It's extremely potent.
Yeah, so it would seem. How much do you want for it?
Who do you take me for? The wisdom of the ancients isn't something that's bought and sold in the marketplace. Did Jesus charge for his miracles? But since you ask, how about this much?
What? That much? You're a crook.
As King Solomon said, honesty is for those who can afford it. If you like, I can mix the elixir for you in exchange for a small favor.
Oh, not again.
Now, is that any tone to use with your master? For shame.
Apologies, master. I was carried away by my thirst for knowledge.
I understand your impatience, but the way to wisdom is narrow and arduous.
And leads out the window. So what is it you want from me now?
Ah, my dear apprentice, everything's gone to the devil. I'm living from hand to mouth, sleeping on straw, and the local peasants won't buy from me. They say they don't trust me, as if I was some kind of charlatan. Can you believe it? Does this look to you like the face of a swindler? I'm an honest trader in sacred goods, whose only concern is the welfare of troubled souls. And any time now the slanderous gossip will spread here from Sasau. I should leave before things get worse. But I can't go anywhere until I've made a bit of coin. So what's needed is to give the locals a bit of encouragement, to open their hearts and purses.
God be with you, Henry.
I'm not going to go around beating people for you.
What do you take me for? I wouldn't hurt a fly. Violence is for the dull-witted. We must gently demonstrate to them the necessity of buying my remedies. For example, to ward off a revenant.
Revenant? What revenant?
The dead return from the grave, a corpse that the soul is unable to depart from, which wanders among the living, filled with rage at its wretched fate.
Yeah, I saw something like that once. But it was just some drunk going home from the tavern after losing all his money at dice.
Don't make light of such things. Now tell me, do you know how to deal with a revenant?
Garlic and a crucifix should be enough, right?
Those are things everyone should have, to repel malign spirits and other evils. You are my trained apprentice, but the ignorant villager is entirely at a loss how to deal with such dark forces. It is our sacred duty to prepare them for such threats.
And how do you propose to do that?
Well, they're all doubting Thomases. They need proof. We'll need a grave, an empty grave that we can use. There's one along the way to Sasau, but it's got one minor shortcoming.
What's that?
Well, it's not entirely empty.
Not entirely? What does that mean?
You have to dig it up first.
Why this particular grave?
The locals don't like to talk about it, so it's surely got some sinister past behind it, and in places like that, revenants sprout up like mushrooms after rain.
Well, if that's how it is, we could open old wounds. That could easily set people against us. Again.
Then it would be best if no one could connect us to it, wouldn't it?
But that's a sin.
Refusing to help the needy is also a sin. I haven't had a decent meal for 40 days and 40 nights.
My conscience is clear where your stomach is concerned. Disturbing a grave is a grave sin.
The grave is not in hallowed ground, so that's hardly worth one Lord's Prayer in penance. I asked a priest once, just out of curiosity.
I'll need a spade, then.
Yes, dig it up and remove the remains, leaving no trace.
And what am I to do with the remains?
Keep them. Human remains are always handy to have around.
Great. And how do we spread the word of this revenant?
There's a gossip in every village. Here, too, a woman who'll spread news quicker than a dozen messengers on the fastest steeds.
And what am I to tell this gossip?
All you have to do is casually mention the empty grave, and before evening, I'll wager the whole village will know about it.
Where does this woman live?
The last house on the left, on the road to Sasau. She was the first person I met here, and by the time I reached the village green, I already had a mob looking suspiciously at me. The rumor-mongering fishwife.
And that's all?
Not quite. You should ask her who was buried there. So we've got a story to work with.
So, dig up the grave, talk to the gossip.
And the remains. Don't forget to remove them. Otherwise, no one will believe in the revenant.
I might have known any task for Capon would turn into some insane escapade. Grave robbing. Jesus.
Halo.
Co tam?
Nic. Spoko.
God save you, Henry.
Z ptaszkiem walczę na arenie.
O, ja robię DLC-ka od ptaszka. Tego. No. Tego z podrywami.
W ogóle miałem bugę na strzelnicy z nim. Bo ja zrobiłem 7 strzałów, a on 0.
O kurde.
W sensie w ogóle nie strzelał, nie?
Aha.
I, nie wiem, po 10 minutach misja się skończyła. A miałem 14 punktów.
Wygrałeś.
No wygrałem 14-0. No, kurwa. Ja nie wiem, ja mam wrażenie czasem, że te walki tutaj są zbugowane. Kurwa. Też masz nieraz tak, że klikasz ten blok i ci nie blokuje? Tylko kurwa przyjmujesz strzał na ryj.
Tak.
Kurwa, to tak niesamowicie.
To Q blokujesz, nie? Chyba.
No tak. No. Kurwa. Kurwicy idzie dostać, no. Napierdalasz 4 razy i nie przejmie nic i ty kurwa raz walniesz i on kurwa 3 te kontrataki zrobi, nie? Których nie może zablokować. Zajebiście. Oczywiście. Bez sensu, kurwa. No. Głupie gówno. Ja bym nie pokonał, nie? Bo nie mogłem blokować. Tarczą.
Aha.
Jakie to jest zjebane. Dlatego się gra z łukiem, a nie kurwa z jakimś mieczem zjebanym. Zaraz go zajebie łukiem.
W łeb.
Normalnie.
Ty tak normalnie nie mówisz.
No tak, kurwa.
people if you can't ride a horse, you moron? Yeah.
No. Ty, nie da się zabić postaci. Strzela przez niego przenikł. Aha. W ogóle na hardkorze widać, ile masz strat i z życia.
Tak?
No.
You showed him. Thank you, that thieving magpie. You can't trust anyone these days. And just so you know, I'm no pinch purse. Here's a small reward.
Thanks.
Wolę banan. Ale pójdzie.
Nie trafiłam, przepraszam.
Życie. No co?
What's that? What's that?
O, Lodomir był, nie zauważyłem.
No. Coś tam pisał faktycznie. Coś się przywitał chyba.
God save Henry.
God be with you, good wife. Has something happened here?
Heavens no. It's quiet here, unlike some other places.
And what about that empty grave?
What empty grave would that be now?
The one beyond the village, alongside the road to Sasau. Just by the river, on the Pine Headland.
How would you know it's empty?
Oh, it's dug up all right. Freshly. And empty. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Lord in heaven, what in the name of...
How come it's not in hallowed ground, anyway? Only unrepentant sinners are buried like that. Usually.
I don't like to say. It's an old wound that's best forgotten.
Whose grave is it?
Well, once a long time ago there was a young charcoal burner living here with his wife. There was always a lot of charcoal burners here, but this fellow worked alone. That's not an easy job for one man.
No one wanted to work with him, or what?
Oh, he was a hard-headed fellow who always wanted to take care of his family himself.
It took me 2 bloody days to dig it out. I had to dig a trench all around.
I can understand that. It's always better to work for yourself than break your back for someone else.
His wife was expecting, though no one knew it yet. And he wasn't doing well at all.
Na hardkorze są te klątwy 2. Musisz wybrać na początek. Widziałeś?
Klątwę?
2.
2? A jakie? Nie
no
wiedziałem.
to masz chyba 8 do wyboru.
Aha.
Ja mam koszmary, że po spaniu masz obniżone statystyki przez jakiś czas. I lunatyk, że jak pójdziesz spać, to możesz się obudzić w innym miejscu. Ale weź, tam są, wiesz, typu każde draśnięcie powoduje krwawienie i tak dalej.
O mordo.
Thieving is wrong.
Aye, but when there's a child on the way and your wife hasn't the strength to get out of bed for the hunger, well, you ought to think differently.
And did he get caught?
Well, at first it was just a few eggs going missing from people's hen coops. But then it was anything that wasn't nailed down. And in the end, they caught him.
And I suppose he was harshly punished for it.
Even then he didn't let on why he was doing it. They whipped the skin off his back and banished him from Leditchcott.
So justice was done then?
It wasn't enough for some folk. When the butcher found out he'd never get any compensation, he wanted them to chop off the charcoal burner's hands. If the bailiff hadn't talked sense into him, he'd have done it himself with his cleaver.
Well, he got off lightly enough then.
And in the end, he got what was coming to him, and more.
The butcher caught up with him.
Straszy się jako
It was the
pospólstwo
mills of God turning
traktowane?
slowly but surely. His wife bled to death in childbirth. And the child...
Czy straszy się jako pospólstwo?
Kto?
Pospólstwo.
No co ale...
Jezus, jak tu zimno!
Jak zimno.
No tak lubię. Idziemy, Misiu?
Idziesz z nim?
No
Mieliśmy
idę,
iść
mama.
z nim.
Tak?
No.
No to idź. Misiek.
Ale trzeba jeszcze raz powiedz, bo ja nie zrozumiałem.
Mówiłam ci, że tu jest zimno.
To jest gorąco. Pospólstwo, czyli chłopi, wiesz, tacy kowale. I czy straż jest traktowana jako pospólstwo?
A, czy straż? Chyba nie.
Bo wiesz, bo są... Bo jest skill nisko urodzony, wysoko urodzony, nie? Można tylko wziąć jeden.
Nie, chyba ten nisko urodzony jest lepszy. Chociaż cholera wie tak naprawdę. Nie wiem, czy w ogóle warto to brać. W ogóle. Nie wiem. Ja coś tam wziąłem, chyba wziąłem wysoko urodzony, ale nie wiem,
też
czy to...
wysoko.
Nie wiem, czy to dobry pomysł.
God have mercy on their souls.
Amen.
Nothing could have been done to save them.
There was no one there. He had no one who would care for his wife. They say on that day he parted ways with God forever. And he turned his back on the village too. I reckon he never forgave himself. Nor us, either.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. But how did he end up?
Don't ask me that, lad. I beg you.
Come now, good wife. You can't leave the story unfinished.
I said no. Will you let it lie?
Ladies and gentlemen, good men and good wives, come closer. Poor or rich, old or young, they are... God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
I know who was buried in that grave. A young charcoal burner.
So begins the tragic tale of the young charcoal burner who became entangled with the devil himself.
Oh, don't start. What devil? I'm trying to tell you. He was from Ledechko. He was trying to eke out a living for himself and his wife, but he couldn't manage. When she fell pregnant, he took to stealing.
Pride drove him from the straight and narrow path, and soon he sold his soul to the devil to fill his stomach.
They caught him and punished him, but some of the people he'd robbed didn't think it was enough. Then when his wife died in childbirth, and the child too, he blamed everyone for it. Even God, apparently.
But when the time came to pay his debt to hell, the devil had no use for his soul, and took his wife and child instead. The charcoal burner cursed God, who struck him down in righteous vengeance. But the dead man's soul never left his body. He came back as a revenant, to vent his rage at God and men and take vengeance on the living.
Jesus, did you listen to what I said at all?
Sorry, did you say something?
Oh, never mind. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, the question is, what would the Revenant do to get revenge on the villagers? Well, apprentice?
The gossip mentioned the butcher. It seems he was infuriated that the charcoal burner's punishment was too lenient.
And the Revenant spoiled their meat with his malign touch.
How's that?
Spoiled meat is a classic example of a Revenant's power.
I thought it was the work of bad butchers.
That too, sometimes.
So, I should switch the good meat for bad at the butcher's. What about the butcher woman?
What about her?
Her conscience was troubled on account of her man and she couldn't sleep. But I helped her, so she's found some peace.
So, no problem then.
What?
O kurde. Na hardkorze. Żarcie z garnka tylko 5 strawy daje. Kurwa, tyle co 2 jabłka.
Make sure it's the same kind of meat. Not even a Revenant will turn a cow into a chicken.
What about his wife and child? No doubt he'd want to avenge their death.
Well, how did they die?
In childbirth.
And when his love turned to rage, the water turned to blood. Nothing too original. But it's tried and tested. If you do it at the baths, everyone will hear of it.
How am I supposed to do that? It might be a bit suspicious if I'm seen walking around with a pail of blood.
No problem. There's a certain potion that will do the trick easily.
He cursed God. That's very serious.
What is it that most brings God to mind?
They don't have a church there. But everyone will have a rosary. I can't think of anything else.
That's it! If folks start losing their rosaries, they'll have sleepless nights over it.
You want me to steal rosaries? But that's...
Or just exchange them.
For what?
For nothing.
Great. He was stealing food from people, right? So, supposing he started again.
We should steal from people? Disgraceful. Have you no shame?
Maybe just a few
Boże,
eggs from
Speedy, ale
hens.
ty śmierdzisz.
Well, that wouldn't be too serious a sin. Will they put it down to the Revenant?
They would, if I put some charcoal there instead.
And their nourishment he turned into ash. So, switch eggs for charcoal, switch the meat, color the water in the baths, and switch the rosaries. That ought to do it. I hope so. Of course, if you come up with anything else, don't let me hold you back. Talking to people might give you ideas. Traders, the bailiff.
Well, what if someone sees me in the act?
They mustn't. Otherwise, it'll end up like Sasau all over again. Don't draw attention to yourself.
Ja ten idę z czym.
Sure. I'll keep my head down. And how would I know if I've succeeded? I doubt it'll be announced on the market square.
I'll be the first to know. They'll come running to me for a remedy, like hens at feeding time. Off you go and raise hell.
But whatever he did, don't you think he deserves some peace?
Dear Henry, after all the poor wretch went through, I'd say he's beyond any peace.
Well, he certainly won't have any as long as I'm carrying his bones around with me.
Ah, but you know who those remains could help?
Help? Who? How?
Me, of course. And I'd pay you a nice price for a Revenant's bones.
But there is no revenant.
Not yet. What do you say?
All right, I'll sell them to you.
Splendid. Revenant bones. They'll be very useful indeed.
Take care.
Mandrake roots taken straight from the gallows at midnight.